The old woman's leg wasn't getting any better. Perhaps the strain of the long journey had caught up with her. She'd broken out into a fever and was showing no signs of recovery. It pained Suzunomi's heart to know they had brought even more mouths to feed to a starving village. Picking up on that, the village elders asked her to pray for rain.
わかりました。お引き受けさせていただきます。
I understand. I shall accept.
ありがたや。
Oh, thank you.
ただ、私のできるのは雨乞いではなく、口寄せです。
But I'm afraid that I am unable to pray for rain myself.
この地を守るうぶ砂神を私の体に下ろすことしかできません。
I am only capable of channeling the guardian deity of this land.
ということは、六神様を。
Which means you could bring Lord Rokugami into your body?
わしらは六神様と話せるちゅうのか？
We could speak to Lord Rokugami?
つまり、雨を降らせてもらえるかどうかは、
In other words, whether we can see rain in our future.
僕たちが六神様の心に届くお願いができるかどうか、ということだね。
Depends on whether our pleas reach Lord Rokugami's heart, yes?
そうなります。
Correct.
でも、皆様の敬う気持ちと、本当に困っているという気持ちがあったなら、必ず届くでしょう。
If you all possess reverence and genuine fear of your futures, I guarantee your pleas will not fall on deaf ears. Murmur, murmur, murmur. The villagers were abuzz with fear and anxiety. They were daunted by the prospect of having to speak to a being so awe-inspiring as their very own god. The mayor calmed them down. They had no other choice. Without rain, they couldn't count on the autumn harvest. But if they knew they just had to hold out until autumn, they could find hope again. Dude, your eyebrows. My god, I can't see. We're counting on you, Lady Priestess.
かしこまりました。
Understood. There was an abandoned temple near the village. That looks familiar. Now you may be wondering why someone would build a temple in such a remote location. Well, some distinguished monks came from the capital and mentioned that would be the perfect spot for a temple. And that's all there is to it. Oh, that's... okay. Thought there'd be more to it. But right before the temple was to be completed, part of it burned down under suspicious circumstances. It seemed it hadn't been very popular. The bad luck didn't end there. At some point, the virtuous monks collapsed from illness. As a result, they departed the land, leaving only an unused temple behind. Cursed. Thus, in this village, that temple was the most fitting place for divine rituals. Yeah, let's use the cursed temple. What could go wrong? On the night of the ritual, the villagers gathered there out of curiosity. Before long, a god would appear and speak before them. It was awe-inspiring, and yet something no one ever wished to have to resort to again. Okay. As the anxious villagers clamored around the main temple hall, Suzunome began the solemn ritual. She chanted the prayer aloud to summon Rokugami Hiko no Mikoto. Next, she took out a small bow known as the Azusa Yumi, a spirit bow, and grabbed the string. Using something akin to a small pole, she strung the bow until it was taut. Not like she was about to fire it, but rather like playing an instrument. The hall resounded with a shrill noise, the likes of which had never been heard before. Let's really summon Lord Rokugami. Quiet, you'll distract her. The whispers of the villagers died down, one after another, by that majestic sound. Yeah, you can see. I was looking like... Yeah, you can see. Am I too big? Good. Okay. Before long, the air was filled with an austere... words I can't pronounce. Befitting the advent of a god. Tsuzenome, who had been putting her all into stringing the bow, suddenly lowered her head and began shaken from head to toe. Her eyes widened as she convulsed and started groaning. Uh-oh. The villagers, fearing she might be possessed by an evil spirit, could only watch with bated breath. And then she just went limp. Oh. Quietly, she slowly rose to her feet, her demeanor completely different from before. Yeah, see, she's all like wiggly. When she turned around, her expression was no longer that of a sweet young woman everyone had seen mere minutes prior. A long silence followed. No one dared speak, least of all blink or twitch. Eventually, she broke the silence.
我こそはRokugami Hiko no Mikoto なるぞ。
I am Rokugami Hiko no Mikoto.
ひれ伏すがよいぞ、人の子らよ。
Prostrate yourselves, children of man. Her intensity was not that of Tsuzenome. There was no more doubt about it. A god now dwelled within her body. He could see!
六神様
Oh, Lord Rokugami.
我らは
No, I can't
お
see.
山のふもとに住まいます村の民たちでございます。
We are the villagers who live on the base of the mountain. The mayor humbled himself as he informed Rokugami Hiko no Mikoto of the village's plight.
我は雨を滑る神にあらず。
I am not the god who governs the rain.
雨の恵みをもたらすことはかなわぬのだ。
Thus, I cannot bring about such a blessing.
ああ、それでは雨は一体いつになったら。
Oh, then when will we next see rain?
雨雲は遠い。
The rain clouds are distant.
必ず恵みの雨は降ろうが。まだ遠い。
You will certainly be graced with rain, but that is still some time away.
秋の実りはどうでしょう。
Then what of the autumn harvest?
幾ばくかの実りを迎えるであろう。
A modest harvest awaits you.
それをよく蓄え、大切に食い伸ばしたなら、必ずや村は救われるであろう。
Should you store and ration it carefully, the village will certainly survive. There would be crops in the fall. Everyone looked at each other with relief at this beacon of hope. Now that they had hope for the future, their concerns turned to the present, naturally.
しかし六神様、私たちはすでに日々の糧にも苦労しております。
But Lord Rokugami, we are already struggling to get by as is.
このままでは村人たちは次々に弱り、病に蝕まれていくことでしょう。
At this rate, the villagers will grow weaker and weaker and succumb to illness.
秋まで待つことはとても難しいことです。どうか、どうか。
It will be very difficult to hold out until autumn. Please help us.
我らに日々の糧をお与えください。
Please give unto us our daily bread.
お前たちは我を敬い、我が山に属性の汚れを持ち込まぬよう、よく今日まで努めた。
You have done well to rever me and not bring your earthly corruption into my mountain.
その労をねぎらうことはやぶさかではない。
I would be willing to requite you for your labor.
何卒お慈悲を。
Please grace us with your benevolence. Oh God, I can't read. It's hard. Okay.
次の満月の晩より7日間、我が眷属の鹿たちを村に使わす。
For 7 days from the night of the full moon on, I shall send on to you deer who serve me.
その肉を村人たちに分け与えよ。
Antlers. Ah. Distribute their flesh amongst the villagers.
さすれば、秋の実りまでを食いつなぐことができるであろう。
Do this, and you will have food enough to last until the autumn harvest. Godly. And with those words, Suzunome's body slowly went limp until she collapsed to the ground. Rokugami Hiko no Mikoto had vowed its charity onto the villagers. Oh, yes, we can eat. Oh. And then came the night of the full moon. The god's envoy appeared before the waiting villagers. It was a creature of legend said to live on the Forbidden Mountain, the golden deer. The villagers were rendered speechless by its heavenly appearance. Oh, pretty. The buck's antlers were strong and firm like the branches of a great tree. Their solid gold glitter shone around the village like a scene straight out of a dream. Its eyes gleamed red like rubies, and though it was a deer, one couldn't help but kneel before its divine presence. I mean, frickin' golden and glowy. Yeah, I'd say so. Its fur was also golden, sparkling brilliantly with each movement of its body. It was the emissary of Rokugami no Mikoto, rumored to extend one's life by the mere sight of it. Every last villager prostrated themselves before it. I freaking hate that word. Suzunome slowly walked forward and spoke to it. Before long, she turned around and conveyed its message to the villagers. I speak deer.
神の鹿はこう仰せられています。
The sacred deer has spoken thusly.
我が肉を剥ぎ、それを煙でいぶして蓄えよ。
Carve up my flesh, smoke it with fumes, and store it.
需要に富し我が肉は一口で飢えを癒すであろう。
A single bite of my bountiful flesh shall remedy your hunger. Yeah, that's kind of how it works.
そして我が金色の角、我が金色の毛皮を剥ぎて金子に変えて蓄えよ。
Then strip me of my golden antlers and fur, and trade them for money.
それにて食い伸ばし、秋の実りを待つがよかろう。
Use it to help sustain yourselves until the coming of the autumn harvest. I like to think the deer just went meh, and she's just like, almost all that. For the next 7 days, they were visited by a new golden deer each night. Oh, there's multiple. That's not special if there's multiple golden ones. I thought it was like maybe just one special one. Whatever. Anyway, as soon as they were told, the villagers smoked the meat and stored it. They presented the golden antlers and furs to nobles from the capital and managed to exchange them for vast sums of money. With those, the villagers were saved from famine and managed to keep their home alive. Well, that's good. But like,
そんな昔話があったんですね。
he's giving him all these nice things, but what does he get out of I don't know. What's the catch? I'm trying to say. I never knew they had that sort of legend around here.
だからこの土地の古いお年寄りは絶対に鹿の肉を食べないの。
That's why the elderly people in this region never eat venison. I actually had venison before. I didn't know it was deer. I think it was like a burger or something. I thought it was just, you know, normal cow beef. And they're like, no, it was venison. It was either a hamburger or a hot dog. I just remember it being a little more gamey. Like something was off a bit.
尊い神様の使いだからって言ってね。
It's very common though where I'm from. Oh. Where they claim deer are God's sacred messengers.
まあこの平成日本で鹿の肉なんてなかなか口にできるものじゃないけれどね。
Not that modern day deer makes for good venison anyway. Oh.
神社
Okay,
の
then.
通りの土産物屋さんに名物鹿まんじゅうとか鹿納豆とかいろいろ売っているけれど。
The vendors on the way to the shrine sell deer-themed novelties like deer-steamed buns or deer natto.
食べ物に神聖な鹿の名を冠することに眉を潜めるお年寄りも少しはいるのよ。
However, some of the elderly from upon putting the name of the sacred deer on food products.
飢饉を鹿の神様に救ってもらったことをこうしてずっと感謝し続けてるんですね。
So they continue to thank the deer god for saving them from famine to this day, huh?
というのはすべて後世の人たちが都合よく再編集した作り話なの。
Well, the story I just told you was the version conveniently edited by later generations.
作り話
Edited?
そう。そもそもこの神社は祝い元なんてめでたい名前なんかじゃなかった。
That's right. In fact, this shrine's name isn't something so nice sounding as Iwamoto Shrine to begin with.
本当の名前は呪い元神社。
Its true name is Noromoto Shrine.
呪いって人を呪うの呪いですか？
Noroi? As in curse? I told you, it's cursed.
そう。人を呪うの呪いと書く呪い元神社。
And I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. I'm trying my best here. That's right.
外から人が来ることのない時代にはみんな気にしなかったそうなんだけどね。
No one really gave the name any thought back in the days when outsiders were few and far between.
江戸時代に街道が通ることになるとマイナスイメージを気にして名前を変えようということになってね。
But once roads started passing through the village by the 17th century or so, they were worried the name would give them a negative image, and thus decided to change it. Yeah, curse temple.
呪い元神社の名前は似た字で縁起のいい祝い元神社に改められたの。
So they took the character for Nori, or curse, and swapped it out for a certain character with more positive connotations, Iwai, or celebration.
この頃に呪い元神社の由来についての物語も改編が行われたわ。
It was at this time they revised the story regarding the history of Noroimoto Shrine.
その結果が先ほど話した昔話。
The result was the legend I just told you.
改変ってことは元の話とどこかが変えられているんですか？
So by edited, you mean they changed part of the original story?
変えられているというよりはしょられているというべきね。
More like they abridged it.
飢饉が起こり神の鹿がやってきて村を救ってくれた。
Famine occurred, and the village was saved by the arrival of the sacred deer.
この後の物語がきれいにはしょられているの。
Everything that happened afterwards was neatly cut out.
つまりさっきの昔話はあれで終わりではない。
So that means the legend didn't end there?
そういうこと。
Bingo.
神の鹿がやってきて村人たちは無事に飢饉を乗り越えた。それだけじゃ終わらなかったってことね。
It didn't just end after the villagers overcame their famine.
お
ところでこの神社のご神体なんだけど神様のおわす山でもなければ村を救った鹿でもない。
By the way, the Shintai in this shrine isn't the god who lived on that mountain, nor is it the deer who saved the village. Oh, really?
なんだと思う？
So what do you think it is? Is it like a doll or something? I don't
想像
know.
もつかないです。
Something to do with dolls? I couldn't even begin to guess.
答えから言うと盆栽よ。
I'll just tell you the answer. It's a bell. Bell?
盆栽？
Yeah.
平たく言えばお寺の釣り鐘のことよ。
To be more exact, a hanging bell from a temple.
大昔この村にあったという廃寺に放置された釣り鐘。
A bell from the abandoned temple that was in this village long ago.
それが祝い元神社のご神体なの。
That's this shrine's Shintai.
どうしてそんなものが？
But why something like that?
神社のパンフレットには神に感謝して人々が奉納したなんてもっともらしいことが書かれているけど、
The pamphlet for the shrine has some passable story about how people offered it up as thanks to the god here. Here you go, god. Have a bell.
辻褄が合わないわよね。
But when you think about that, that doesn't add up. This was a shrine for worshipping the deer god known as Rokugami no Makoto. And there was a legend that said his deer saved the people from famine. Then why had the shrine been named after a curse? Why would its sacred Shintai be a hanging bell from an abandoned temple? It didn't add up at all. Something was missing, just like something was missing, just like Miss Hinagata was alluding to.
戦前の郷土史収集家が研究していたの。その人の資料を見つけるのは苦労したわ。
Local history compilers from before the war conducted some research. Finding their work was a real pain.
神社の神主を代々務める黒神家は迫害と呼べるほどの圧力をかけて その研究をもみ消したのだから。
The Kurokami family, who had run the shrine for generations, put so much pressure on them to suppress their findings that you could call it persecution.
この土地の縁起の悪い伝説を蒸し返されることを好まなかったということでしょうか。
Because they didn't like them raking up some grim legend?
おそらくね。
Most likely.
黒髪家にとっては自称研究家などという人間の好奇にさらされ、無用な注目を浴びたくなかったでしょうし。
The Kurakamis probably didn't want to be exposed to curious, self-proclaimed researchers and have unwanted attention brought upon themselves.
何があったんですか？
What happened?
人間の欲とそれに対する神の怒り。
The greed of mankind was met by a divine wrath.
そしてその神の怒りすらも上回る人間のおぞましさよ。
And man's repulsive nature gave it a run for its money. The people were saved by the meat from the sacred deer. The capital's nobles were enamored with the golden antlers and furs and paid handsomely for them. The people managed to live modestly off of that and survive the phantom. Ooh. However, things didn't end there. A single bite from the deer meat cured their hunger. But man's desire knows no bounds. Once their desire for food was sated, their minds became occupied with the desire for wealth. The village elders were awed by the unimaginable riches they'd earned from trading the golden antlers and furs. What's more, the nobles had asked them, "Do you have any more?" If they brought more golden antlers and fur, they could sell them for a hefty price. The villagers had only lived modestly so far because they had no other choice. But faced with the prospects of earning a king's ransom, their greed drowned out their gratitude towards their god.
そんなのダメだよ。お山を侵すなんて。
No, we cannot desecrate the mountain.
あの山にはまだまだ金の鹿がおるはずじゃ。
There should be more gold deer up there, though.
あれだけのお山じゃ100頭はいるに違いねえ。
It's a big mountain. There must be 100 of them.
でも、お山を侵せばたたりがあるって。
But we'll be cursed if we trespass.
たたりなんぞ怖いもんか。
I'm not afraid of some curse.
そもそも六神様なんて本当におるかもわからんぞ。
Besides, we don't even know if Lord Rokugami is really there. Oh, that's nice to say.
んだんだ。旅の巫女が口寄せしたら、たまたま金の鹿が村に迷い込んできただけかもしれん。
He's right. Maybe it was just a coincidence that the golden deer wandered into our village after the priestess's channeling. Oh yeah, and just started talking. Quotes. It is a man's nature to look to the future over the past. Future prospects are far more important than offering thanks to a witch had come and gone. Up until now, the villagers had feared and revered the mountain as Rokugami Iko no Mikoto's sacred home. Yet they had completely forgotten their dutiful thanks and were wearing their greed on their sleeves. A picture scroll from the 17th century obtained by the aforementioned researchers told the true story. It depicted the gruesome slaughter that unfolded on that mountain, the hunting of the golden deer. Uh-oh. Here's some irony. What word do you get when you combine the characters for golden deer? The answer is massacre. Uh-oh. Pretty.
兄上様、どうかお考え直しを。
Brother, please reconsider.
そうですとも。人間たちのために、そこまでをされる必要はありますまい。
She's right. You needn't go so far for the humans.
そうはいかぬ。
I must.
我らは互いを敬い、距離を保ちつつも共生せねばならぬ。
We must respect each other and keep our distance if we are to live in you.
なれど、日照りで辛いのは我らも同じ。
But the drought brings us equal suffering.
なぜに我らのみが人間に施さねばならぬかわかりませぬ。
But why are we the only ones who must offer aid? I do not understand.
人間たちはよく我らを敬い、この飢饉にあっても我らの土地を侵さなかった。
This deer has a really cool voice. Anyway, The humans honor us and have refused to desecrate our land, even in this time of famine.
それに対し見返りがなくば我らへの敬いも薄れようというもの。
Did we fail to reward them for that? Their reverence for us shall wait.
神よの時代はすでに終わって久しい。我らは滅ぶべき存在だ。
The age of gods is long over. Our kind is overdue to perish.
しかし彼らの祖先は我らの地を侵さぬことを約束してくれたのだ。何の見返りも求めず。
And yet, their ancestors swore not to trespass on our land without seeking anything in return.
しかしその見返りに我らの身を捧げるなど。
But to offer up our flesh is that reward.
さようです。兄上様がどうして人間どもに。
She is right. Why must you die for the humans, brother?
話し合って決めたことだ。我を筆頭に年長の者7人を人里に送る。
We discussed this. Starting with me, the 7 eldest of us will descend upon the man village.
それで彼らは秋の実りまで十分に食いつなぐことができるであろう。
Thou shalt grant them enough nourishment to last until the autumn harvest.
我の血肉は彼らのものだけにはならぬ。
My flesh and blood shall not belong to them alone.
我らへの敬いを新たにし、我らの安寧にもつながるのだ。
It will renew their reverence for us and bring us peace.
兄上様。
Brother,
出産を間近にしている者もおろう。7人減ればその分多く食え。父の出も良くなるはずだ。
there's also those due to give birth soon. The loss of us 7 shall grant them more food to produce greater milk.
我ら亡き後、この山を頼むぞ。
Once we have departed, I leave the mountain to you.
兄上様。
Brother,
誓って一族の繁栄をお約束いたしまする。
I swear it. I vow our clan shall prosper in your absence. But they could not keep that promise. Over 7 days, 7 sacrifices were sent, believing they were fulfilling their duty. They had no way of knowing their sacrifices would be in vain. They could have never imagined that they were stirring man's greed even further. Oh, these deer. Silly, silly deer. It happened on the night when the moon appeared red. As desolate winds blew, the villagers carrying torches all passed over the stream to the forbidden mountain. A blood moon rises. That mere act sent the creature living there into a frenzy, for all of them had wholeheartedly believed that the humans would never cross the stream. The mob roared as they roused the animals. The golden deer instantly understood the situation from the commotion and learned that their trust had been betrayed. Both Suzunomi and Mutsu had been opposed to it. But their words had fallen on the deaf ears of those blinded by greed. Since the village was taking care of her, Suzunomi could do a little to protest, and since Mutsu was a member of the village, he was unable to fight against her shared conviction. Back in those days, your village was your family, and their fate was yours. Opposing them would mean getting both yourself and your family ostracized. Mutsu knew that. So even though he didn't want to, he had no choice but to partake in the mountain hunt. The creatures of the mountain scrambled in fear down the animal trails on the opposite slope. There, they were caught in large nets. It was an ambush pincer attack designed to lure them into traps and round them up whole. Of course, what the villagers truly wanted were the golden deer. But in this time of Phantom, they didn't mind taking whatever they could catch. They planned to hunt the whole mountain dry. The agitated animals were caught by the herd in traps one after another. That was a monkey. I don't know what that was. The dying screams of their slaughter resounded without any end in sight. The golden deer looked down on this horrifying scene.
なんということなのか。
Oh, horrid.
姉上様、もうこの地にはとどまれませぬ。
Sister, we cannot stay here any longer.
この地を捨てましょう。今ならま
Poor
だ
dear. Just an interesting little thing here. Yeah, there's four. Let us abandon this mountain. We still have time to flee into the northern valley.
しかし北の谷は人の子らの地だ。我らの地にはあらず。
The children of the man live there. It is not our land. Well, they don't care. They went into your land.
我らがそれに従う道理はありますまい。
The children of man have broken their oath, thus we no longer have to oblige by ours. Exactly.
さようです。
Smart deer.
彼らが我らの地を犯すように、我らが彼らの地を犯したとて、誰に咎められましょう。
Indeed, now that they have desecrated our land, no one can reproach us for being the same.
なりませぬ。
We cannot.
姉上様。
Sister.
彼らが金を破ったからといって、我らまで破れば、それは我らも同じに出したも同然。
If we broke our oath simply because they did, that would make us no different from them.
我らは神代の時代より生きし、誇り高き一族。その誇りを失うことは許されませぬ。
We are a proud clan that has lived since the ages of gods. We cannot allow ourselves to abandon that pride. Wise words.
しかし、悔しゅうございます。
And my heart is marred with vexation.
これでは
Vexation.
何のために兄上様たちが命を捧げたのかわかりませぬ。
This cannot be what our siblings gave their lives for.
人の子を信じた兄上様たちが不憫でなりませぬ。
I can only pity them for placing their faith in the children of man.
あれは人の子にあらず、
These are no children of man.
人の鬼、人鬼じゃ。
They are demons and human flesh. Man demons.
我らは金を破らぬ。破りで沢を越えるは人鬼に脱するも同じ。
We shall not break our vow. We shall not degrade ourselves to the level of these man demons.
我らの誇りが人鬼どもの邪悪によっても汚されぬことを教えてやろうぞ。
We shall teach them that our pride cannot be sullied by their evil. What are they gonna do?
いたぞ金の鹿の群れじゃ
Look, a herd of golden deer.
囲め囲め、一匹も逃してないぞ。
After them, don't let a single one get away. Villagers' greedy eyes gleamed through the darkness, looking exactly like those of demons. The herd of golden deer suddenly took off and scattered across the mountain. Their golden fur shone too brightly in the moonlight. They couldn't escape the avaricious glares of the man demons. One deer collapsed in exhaustion, one fell and broke its legs, and one by one they were captured. The final members of the herd were cornered at the stream. If they crossed the stream, they could likely flee to safety, but that was the humans' land. They had gained that land in exchange for promising they wouldn't trespass upon any others. And so the golden deer kept their pride to the bitter end. They are all captured with their backs to the stream.
バカな鹿どもじゃこいつら沢を越えられるぞ
Stupid deer, they can't even cross the stream.
わしらが踏み入れるのをいいことに、お山でぬくぬくしておった報いじゃな。
This is what they get for thinking we never tread on their mountain.
一網打尽じゃぞ
We caught them all. Ah, ha, 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 ha. These people are horrible. The deer's legs are bound, and the humans carry them upside down on long poles. It was a disgraceful end to the sacred deer who lived since the age of gods.
これだけいればわしらはみんな大金持ちじゃ
We'll be rich as kings with this many of them.
メスの毛並みもなかなかではないか。毛皮に傷をつけぬように気をつけるのじゃぞ。
Those does sure have a lot of fur, huh? Be careful not to damage it. The deer were hung in succession over skinning tables set up in the village. Oh. Why does the deer sound like a monkey? Anyway, the village smashed them over the head and killed them. Oh. They're no kinder to the fawns either. Oh no, even the newborns are slaughtered mercilessly. Oh, poor deer. Families were forced to watch their own children murdered one after another as they waited for their own turn to come. It was said the deer shed bitter tears, but to no extent records speculate on their feelings.
我らはどうなっても構いませぬ。せめて子供らにはどうかお慈悲を。
We do not care what happens to us, but please at least spare the children.
お慈悲を賜まれれば、我が身はどうなろうと決してお恨み申しませぬ。
Show them mercy, and we shall hold no grudge for whatever you may do with our bodies.
どうかおじ。
Please, please spare. Crunch. Crunch, 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 crunch. They smash their skulls with countless swings of their axes.
ケンケンよく吠える鹿じゃ。あい。ほれ、次。
Those deer sure know how to howl. Come on, bring the next one here.
人に立ちめ。この仕打ち。我らは永遠に忘れぬぞ。
Accursed man demons, we shall never forget this atrocity.
こいつらの肉、あれだけのご利益があるんじゃ。血にもあるんではないかの。
Their meat sure was nothing short of a miracle. What if their blood's the same?
なめたら無病息災のご利益があるやもしれぬな。
Maybe we'll be blessed with long life if we drink it. Ew! Blades are thrust into their defenseless bellies. Blood gushed out of those gaping wounds. The villagers lapped away and licked it up, staining their lips foul crimson. It's so gross.
まずい。こんなものにご利益があるとは思えぬわ。
Ugh, it tastes disgusting. I can't see us getting blessed from this.
殺せ。
Die.
これ以上我が身を恥ずかしめることは許さぬ。
I shall not permit any further humiliation.
早く肉をいぶしてまた食らいつきたいもんじゃ。
I want to just smoke the meat and eat that stuff again already.
あのビーミ思い出すだけでよだれがこぼれるわ。
My mouth's watering just thinking about that delicious flesh. This part is not for vegetarians at all. Good God. The axe was raised and the moon was split.
姉上様、お先に。
Sister, I go first. The sound of a skull shattering resounded, followed by the hiss of blood gushing.
あと一匹じゃ。
Just one more to go.
わしらのすぐ近くにこんなお宝がどっさり眠っとったなんてな。
Could have guessed there was this huge treasure trove just lying around next door. The final dub and forced to see all that transpired. The whole clan being captured, family young and old alike being slaughtered, their fur skinned, their flesh carved up. The ecstasy of the man demons as these acts, their expression something not of this world. And last but not least, the axe coming down on her own head. Her life was coming to an end, and all the while she witnessed her adorable siblings being skinned. She wept bitterly and unleashed one final scream.
あれ。
Oh.
人間ども。人にどもめ。
Contemptible humans. Accursed man demons.
我こそは、我らこそは、この地のうぶすな神、六神彦の御事なり。
We are Rokugami Hiko no Mikoto, the guardian deity of this land.
この恨み、我らは永遠に忘れることはなし。必ずや天の罰を与えるであろう。
Our grudge shall fester until the end of time. Divine punishment will fall upon you.
我らの怒りに恐れおののくがいい。
Tremble before wrath
そして永遠に
and suffer.
やかましい鹿じゃ。
What a noisy deer. Well, it's starting to make sense now.